Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for our BYO-Champagne Applause at Home. We are so enjoying this series thanks to our applause committee who has given so much of their time to getting this going and to helping us unfold this special project. And also a special thank you to Sandy Kuchneris for all of the special deliveries for those of you who are in Breckenridge. We love this series. It's one of the most beloved and treasured programs that we host during the summer and during our Breckenridge Music Festival. And I see many of our Champagne hosts have joined us. So we appreciate all of you who have come, and especially those who traditionally open up their homes for these chamber music performances. So welcome. It is a very rainy day. In fact, one of the biggest, rainiest days that I've ever seen in Breckenridge tonight. So a perfect night for a little music. And we have some wonderful artists joining us from their homes. And I'll let our artistic director and conductor, Stephen Schick, introduce them in just a moment or so. In case you are not familiar with the Zoom environment, which I would be surprised by now, we encourage you to use the tools, the chat tool below your screen at the bottom to talk to us, to talk to the performers, to ask questions of Steve or myself about the organization. We'd love to hear your thoughts. This is meant to be an interactive experience. And so we'd love to chat with you a bit. We also, especially during the performances, the live performances, encourage you to keep your microphone muted and really do make best use out of that chat function. If you scroll to the bottom of your screen now and click on it, a small side screen will pop up, and what you can do is just enter your cursor below the to button. You can talk to people privately, you can talk to the entire group. You click the drop down button and select everyone or someone in particular and type your message. So that's how we would love to interact with you tonight. We hope you enjoy the program, and I will turn it over to our artistic director and conductor, Stephen Schick. Welcome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's just been such a wonderful summer full of meetings, and though we would, of course, prefer to be meeting in person, we're very grateful to Applause, to Tamara, to the entire team in Breckenridge for putting these together. And I see champagne being drunk. I am about to play, so I can only toast you with this lovely large purple water bottle, but please do enjoy as you are listening. And what we are going to do tonight, which is really, really special, which is that we will play for you in your living rooms, from our living rooms and studios, and everybody will say a little bit about the piece they're about to play, and I'd ask them also to tell us where they're playing, where in the world they're playing from. And then, of course, as Tamara said, please do use the chat function so that we can answer questions of yours if you should have them. Now, the assembled talent is, for the most part, really, really well known to you. You'll have very familiar faces of Kate and Alex and Michael, people you've known from many, many summers past, and you're getting used to my ugly mug as well. But there is at least one person on this call and on the concert whom, if you have not heard yet, at the risk of overselling, this will change your life. When I met Aisslinn Nosky, I thought I had heard people play violin in different way. What I didn't realize is that she was a simple explosion of musical energy, ready to blow our minds at any given moment. And Aisslinn and I have now known each other for several years. I believe that's right, Aisslinn. And originally in the context of sharing teaching duties at the Banff Center for Arts and Creativity in Canada, where I invited Aisslinn to be on as a faculty member on a course I was running, and then later she ran the string quartet program there, the fabled string quartet program there. And I just think she's extraordinary. One of my favorite people and one of my favorite musicians. She is concertmaster of the Handel and Haydn Society in Boston, but that only begins a list of professional accomplishments which has taken her all over the world, working with the Orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment, working in both hemispheres. And it doesn't make any difference where Aisslinn is. She is an extraordinary musical talent wherever she is in the world. And Aisslinn, we're just so happy that you're able to join us. And good evening and welcome.
Thank you, Steve. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm delighted to be joining you all from New York, from the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
That is fantastic. And would you just tell us a little bit about what you're going to do and play? And then I'm sure there will be people who will love to kind of converse and chat with you as we go through. But tell us, this is amongst my favorite music that you're about to do.
That's right. I'm going to share two selections with you tonight. The first is a piece that was specially written for me by my friend, the Canadian composer Michael Osterly. It's called Stand Still, and he tells me that he wrote it when his son was learning to walk and I guess run. So he found himself saying the phrase stand still more than he could even count. And you know, I've always loved the piece. It's maybe 6 or 7 years old now, but it's taken on a special significance for me in this time when I'm a little bit at a standstill. It's something I've come back to, and it's been giving me a lot of comfort to play it, and I really enjoy it. And my second selection will be the E major prelude from the Partita number 3 for solo violin by Johann Sebastian Bach. And in between those two pieces, I will be tuning a little bit too. It's very humid here.
Thank you so much, Aisslinn. Wow. Wow, Aisslinn, fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Oh, that was just beautiful to hear. And, I hate to talk about the festival that we would have done in the subjunctive all the time. Were we to have a festival, we would then be hearing you play Bieber and Mendelssohn and a number of other things. But we'll look forward to that in the future. That's just really extraordinary. That's wonderful. So I'm not seeing anything in the chat box in terms of questions. Maybe they will arise as we go through, and so we may come back to you with some questions. But thank you so much for that. That was just beautiful. I think we all can give another round of applause for that extraordinary performance. The silent Zoom clapping that we're now getting used to. Fabulous. Thank you, Aisslinn. By the way, I'm trying to figure out who negotiated my contract so that I follow Aisslinn Nosky on this program. That is potentially my fault, but I see now that it was a horrible miscalculation. Anyway, I guess I am up next to play for you, and I am speaking to you from my studio at the University of California in San Diego, and where I've been now for a few weeks now that the stay-at-home order has been lifted, I hope permanently here in California, and so I'm here amongst all of my instruments and not back in the garage as I have been in previous calls with you. And the piece I'm going to play for you is well, I think it's about as radical a departure from Bach as one could imagine. This is a piece by the Yugoslavian-born composer Vinko Globokar. He is still alive, and he wrote this piece in the early 1970s, and it's a piece called toucher, which in French means to touch. And I have here surrounding me 7 small instruments, which I'll play with my hands, therefore the piece called toucher. Now the piece itself is pretty, well, there's nothing straightforward about it. I was about to say it was straightforward. It is a translation into French of 6 scenes from a Bertolt Brecht play about the life of Galileo. Now, Brecht wrote the play around the time of the Second World War. He was very interested in Galileo because Galileo was the inventor of the first workable telescope with which he could prove that the Earth was not the center of the solar system. In the 16th century, this got him into a lot of trouble with the church. And so it was Brecht's interest in Galileo to ask the question, if you can see something and know it's true, can you also say it out loud? You can imagine that Brecht at the time of the Second World War would have been interested in that question. Then the composer Vinko Globokar comes along in the early 1970s and says, I will take 6 scenes from this play of Brecht, translate them into French, and ask the percussionist to choose 7 instruments that resemble the sounds in French. And I will speak the lines of about 16 different characters and all of the stage directions. And as I speak the characters' lines, when I say a sound in the text that is associated with an instrument, I play that instrument at the same time. So in other words, I am playing along the language, both with my voice and also with my hands. Over the course of the piece, which is not very long, a little bit shorter than actually it takes to explain it to you, my voice will get softer, leaving the instruments themselves to speak. Now, there are only a couple of other elements in the piece. It begins with a little bit of a tutorial where I show you the sound of the voice and the instrument associated. That doesn't take very long. And then between the 6 scenes, there are little interludes for solo instruments that serve in essence as curtains coming down and coming back up. The conversations in rapid-fire French are roughly between Galileo and his friends who are worried for him, and about Galileo and especially Sagredo, his lens grinder, who talk eventually and ultimately about the place of God in their new, now modern universe. I think that's about the bare bones explanation of it. I hope you enjoy Vinko Globokar's piece called Touché for percussion soloist and vocalist at the same time. Ni. Bu. Cha. Votre. Grand. don, me, peu, kitsko, joue, feu, je, l'un. Sagredo, il n'y aurait donc aucune différence entre la Lune et la Terre. Galilée, il semble que Sagredo, il n'y a pas 10 ans que Gianni Bruno a été brûlé à Rome pour avoir soutenu l'unanimité. Galilée, il n'y a pas de doute, mais tes yeux au tube, ce que tu vois prouve qu'il n'y a pas de différence entre le ciel et la terre. Aujourd'hui, le samedi janvier 1610, l'humanité a inscrit dans son journal ciel supprimé. Galilée, c'est affreux, Galilée. J'ai aussi découvert quelques entre-sorties. Le curateur. Galilée, je voulais transmettre une réflexion sur les deux grands systèmes cosmiques avant. Cosmo. Comment monsieur Galilée, pas très bien, votre excellence, si vous permettez, j'ai ici un livre très grand. Cosmo. Les quatre notions me préoccupent, vraiment me préoccupent. Cela prouve que vous employez peut-être avec un peu de zèle votre tube à filmer. Il sort sans prendre le livre. Galilée. Comment il ne veut pas pris le livre? Cosmo, regardons les dames de la cour. La vieille dame. Vos étoiles, seulement les messieurs se demandaient s'ils existaient vraiment. Pause. La jeune dame, on devait voir chaque absolument. Federsoni, oui, et beaucoup d'autres choses à l'intérieur du taureau. Galilée, les messieurs, veulent-ils regarder? Oui ou non? Le philosophe, bien sûr, bien sûr. Le mathématicien, bien sûr, pause. Soudainement, André va droit vers la sortie. Samuel arrête. Madame Sarti. André, il sort. Le philosophe, le maréchal. Messieurs, puis-je vous faire remarquer que l'officiel commence en 3/4 d'heure? Galilée. André. Galilée. André. Galilée. André, c'est la vérité. Galilée, oui, et les notices, nous autres, nous ne devons pas en comprendre ce qui nous concerne comme juste. Une fenêtre s'ouvre et une femme crie. Sauve Jésus, en face il y a la peste. L'homme horrifié se sauve. Galilée, avez-vous vu ma femme de village? La femme de village s'est effondrée dans la rue. C'est pourquoi elle est partie. Elle ferme la fenêtre. Des enfants descendent dans la rue. Ils aperçoivent Galilée et se sauvent en criant. Galilée se retourne. À ce moment arrivent en courant 2 soldats en armure. Les soldats entrent dans la maison immédiatement. Avec le lance, ils repoussent Galilée dans sa maison. Ils verrouillent la porte. Galilée par la fenêtre. Pour ce qui s'est passé dans le ménage, les soldats ont emmené sur le pré. La femme apparaît de nouveau à la fenêtre. La femme, toute la rue extérieure, restait pas. Les soldats tirent encore à travers la rue. La femme, mais maintenant, personne ne pourra entrer dans notre maison. Vous n'avez pas besoin de m'aimer ici. ici, tout est ça. Halte, halte, écoutez donc, mon mari est en ville, il ne pourra même plus rentrer. Salaud, salaud! On entend de l'intérieur ses pleurs et ses cris. Les soldats s'en vont. Sagredo, c'est le son de constellation. Où est Dieu alors? Galilée. Sagredo, Dieu, où est Dieu? Galilée, très énervé. Là-haut, tu montes. Même si là-haut il y avait des êtres vivants, il ne pourrait pas Dieu sur notre terre. Sagredo, où est Dieu alors? Galilée, suis-je théologue? Je suis mathématicien. Sagredo, tu es un homme et je te demande, où est Dieu dans ton système cosmique? Galilée, en nous ou nulle part. Sagredo, furieux, comme le patron des Latiniers. Galilée, comme le patron des Latiniers. Sagredo, c'est pourquoi on l'a brûlé sur le bûcher il n'y a pas 10 ans de cela. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I have to say that, I have my telephone out because I thought that maybe Tamara would want to call me or Monica or somebody. And my 96-year-old friend, Italian friend, Claudio, called in the middle of all of that. And I tried to turn the phone over and it accidentally answered. And so Claudio, I have no idea what he thought I was doing, except maybe screaming at him in French about Galileo. I'll calm him down after the fact, but this I'm sure was a life-changing experience for my friend Claudio. So in any event, I'll shut my phone off now that we're all together. That was more exciting than I expected it to be. Very well. We're going to go to Michael Linville and to Miami for a change of pace. Yes, it's French, but it will be a little bit different. And Michael, are you there? And how are you doing? And how are you faring in Miami?
Well, I've been cooped up in this little apartment now since mid-March. Only going out to the supermarket. I've been to our offices at the New World Symphony maybe 3 times, just in and out to get mail and things like that. And I was realizing that I've done about 1 million meetings on Zoom, and I've done some teaching on Zoom, but I haven't performed anything before on Zoom, and I haven't actually performed anything for anyone else since probably February. So this is a great way to get back on the horse. And I can't imagine doing it with a more wonderful group of people. And it's so nice to see familiar faces. And I'm really happy to be playing for you tonight. I'm going to be playing an early piece of Claude Debussy, just called Ballade. It was composed in 1890, so it's part of that early series of piano pieces that sort of got attention in some of the wrong ways, just because his teachers really didn't like his unorthodox approach. But interestingly, the original version of this piece was called Ballade Slav, which just means Slavic ballad. And scholars seem to think that it may have had something to do with the time that Debussy spent 10 years before that with Madame von Meck, who was also Tchaikovsky's patron. And he went to Moscow to teach her children and to play some forehand music with her. And they summered in Switzerland and France and Italy. So I have a feeling that this probably had something to do with recollections of that time. But you'll hear that it owes a little bit to Tchaikovsky and a little bit to Wagner, but it's definitely in Debussy's own voice. This is the Ballade from 1890.
boundaries in the World Health Organization.
Wow, Michael, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that. That was limpid and pure and clear and balm for the soul. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve.
That is just great. And again, we hold out hope that somebody might have a question or a comment, and if not, then we can come to the end and we can have a little chat if you'd care to. If anybody does, just wonderful. Thank you, Michael. The apropos Zoom bombs, we are all getting used to the brave new world of Zoom, and I don't think I mentioned this to you on a previous call, but I was on a faculty meeting in May, and one of my colleagues, Anthony Davis, had his microphone open, and we were all trying to get his attention on the chat box to close it, and then the phone rang in Anthony's house, and I thought, oh, he doesn't even know we're overhearing him. This is this total invasion of privacy. And the phone call was from Columbia University telling him that he had won the 2020 Pulitzer Prize. So we all just had a chance to listen in to him saying, "What? Me?" And so that was a great moment. So if anybody has any major awards for any of the artists present, this would be just a fantastic time to bestow them. So anyway, we're getting used to the brave new world of Zoom. Thank you for your patience with everything. So Michael, just gorgeous.
So Steve, it looks like we have one question from Ted for Michael. Ted asks what type of piano you have. Who's the maker of your piano at home?
I have a Yamaha. Short and sweet answer, it's a Yamaha.
Sounds fantastic.
Thank you. And I want to thank Ron Honeycutt, who is here with me. He's my technical support, and I feel very lucky because I realize that my colleagues don't have technical support to speak of in their home venue. So I'm very grateful that Ron is here and helping out, because I don't think I could have done this by myself.
That's great. Thanks to Ron. And in fact, this would be just a great moment to give a round of applause, either with an icon or by clapping, for the entire support staff of Breckenridge, because this is an enormous thing. And so let's just hear it for them. This is just great. I'm looking at Tamara and Lauren, but everybody, Ron and Monica, and I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but we're very, very grateful, and obviously this is not a solo act. So this is great to have that kind of community. And Kate and Alex, I know you're there someplace, and it's so strange that we live an easy drive from one another, and we haven't seen each other since February, I don't think, which is just sad. But can you tell us how you're doing, and are you in fact speaking to us from San Diego, or are you elsewhere?
We are here at home in San Diego, just about 10 miles or so south of Steve. Here at what's become our sort of makeshift studio at home. So yes, you are looking at both your sound engineers and your performers this evening. And yeah, we're really gratified to be joining you all. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces. Bittersweet to not see you in person, but I think more sweet for the next few minutes, hopefully. And we have a very short movement that Kate will tell you a little bit about.
Yeah, thank you again for being with us tonight. We're grateful for the opportunity, as Alex said, to commune with everyone in this way. We're equally grateful that our young children are out of the house right now, so they will not be our tech support or our distractions, thankfully, for these next few minutes. But we've chosen a work that was written by a Czech composer who may be unfamiliar to many of you. Erwin Schulhoff was born into a German Jewish family in 1894 and had his life cut tragically short by the Nazis and the Holocaust in 1942. But he was an incredibly gifted pianist, much like Michael, and loved jazz and American ragtime and all types of music. Wrote this very, very fun, boisterous duo for violin and cello in 1925. And it's a 4-movement work, and this is the second movement, the Zingareska, the gypsy style movement that we've chosen to perform for you tonight. We have never performed this together before, so this is a premiere for us from our home in North Park. But we're having so much fun with it. We hope we can do the entire work for you when we can all be together in Breck again, hopefully next summer. So again, this is the Zingareska movement from the duo for violin and cello by Erwin Schulhoff.
Bravo, bravo, Kate and Alex. And like Jean just said, we miss you. We miss each and every one of our orchestra members and leaders here tonight. So thank you again. Just another round of applause to you and Alex, our artistic partner for chamber music. I'd also like to thank Michael in Miami, another artistic partner for chamber music. Kate and Michael do extraordinary work on behalf of our Champagne series and all of the chamber music that we present. And we're certainly, there's a void here in Breckenridge without you. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And of course, Aisslinn, we're so happy and to have you from New York and to hear a little taste of what you had in store for us on this incredible program that you and Steve put together, where you were actually not only going to be a soloist, but also lead the orchestra as well. And we hope to have you back here in Breckenridge as soon as possible. So thank you, Aisslinn.
Thank you so much for including me. It's a pleasure, really.
And Steve, finally, thank you to you and for your leadership and for putting these little Zoom events together for us to kind of keep our community together and have a glass of champagne to toast. So to you, Steve, we so appreciate all of the creativity you bring to our organization.
Thank you so much, Tamara. And the teamwork with you and with all of our partners is just really heartwarming. And it's such a wonderful evening, if I could be allowed to say, you know, from everyone, and the thanks to the performers. I'll double down on what Tamara says. And my dear, I'll be home in 25 minutes, so put the glasses in the freezer. Thank you, everybody, for being here and playing so beautifully. Tamara, back to you.
And lastly, thank you to all of our Champagne hosts of the past who are here with us tonight. We hope to be back in your homes soon. Really, what makes the music so special are the people that you bring together to listen to it. So we do this all for you, our music enthusiasts, and really hope that we can continue to see you here on Zoom and in person soon. So thank you again for being with us, and stay tuned for our next one, August 7th. Take good care, and hopefully we'll have a sunny weekend. Good night, and thank you. Bye-bye.